Following takes place in a fictional scenario in Nick's head on the eve of issue 142. Events occur in real time.
The dapper fool enters the store. He makes an athletics. He fails.
Dude, what the hell, Nick? I walk into the store and die? That's how we're going to start this adventure?
You rolled poorly.
No. We're redoing this campaign, starting back from the top.
All right, your funeral. The dapper fool enters the store. He succeeds on his roll and makes it to the clerk. What the fool didn't know, the clerk had a bean burrito and made an attack of his own. It was very effective.
You mean I died again? No, restart the campaign.
The dapper fool walks in prepared with the mask on his face, ready for the clerk. The fool celebrates, allowing the clerk to take advantage. Better luck next time, fool.
Redo this again, make it fair.
The fool rushes the counter. Demands his comics.
I want to... I need my pulls!
Then, a handsome swordsman appears behind him.
Hold on. This swordsman looks just like you.
Handsome, isn't he? And with a flash, he takes the fool's hand.
Redo the whole campaign.
The fool enters the store. He rushes the counter. Demands his comics.
I'm here to pick up my pulls.
He hears a rustle behind him. He sees the knight. The store clerk turns with his own surprise, a grenade he hid in the back. He majestically throws the grenade at the handsome swordsman. The swordsman counters.
Mother... I cast shield, and do I get to kill the handsome knight?
Yeah, actually, that was pretty good. You get a level up.
Yes. All right, then I move forward, and I proceed to loot Brian's body.
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. At Emerson Comics, Keeping Up with Nerds presents issue 142. My name is Nick Valero.
You're so confident, Renee.
This is Brian.
And welcome to the show.
That was great.
I was going to go with it. We're stuck in time. Yeah.
You almost made it, dude.
Almost had
like
it,
yeah.
a couple,
Almost had
like
You stumbled in the
yeah.
address, but you got through it.
Yeah.
oh
I powered
my
through.
Yeah.
God,
Powered through.
Nick.
And when we got to the issue number, that's
That
when
was
I got
it.
nervous. I got nervous, and I was like, "What's he gonna say?"
I completely forgot to remind him at the start of the
That's
show.
true.
I'm like, hey, it's 142, not 141.
That was helpful.
Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Yeah.
It was helpful when you were doing it.
Happy Pokemon Scarlet and Violet TCG release
Who
day,
does that
everyone.
relate to?
What is
That relates to me.
Then
all right?
You're
Hold
the
on, I have
only
a-
one that
oh,
benefits from
And
that.
Hang on,
some
wait,
other listeners
wait,
who
hang
like
on,
Pokemon
hang
TCG.
on.
What?
Is Friday Scarlet and Violet or is Wednesday Scarlet and Violet?
Friday, as of recording.
So, okay. I'm just...
So for me, in the past, Brian, happy
So,
Pokemon TCG
past
release day.
Okay, there you go.
All right, is that
I
better?
just want to be
Future
relevant.
Brian.
That's all.
Yeah.
I just want to be relevant.
Thanks, future. Thanks, past Brian.
Only future Nick is here. All right.
You're gonna watch this back and go,
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna-
oh, thanks.
I'm gonna high five my phone. I'm like, I can't keep past Nick hanging.
Oh my god, dude! I quality checked the last one again, dude. I can't handle this, dude. Sometimes our energy is like a little too much. I'm like, dude.
I was listening to our last week's issue, and it was pretty funny. I was still cracking up on some of the.
Stop stroking your ego, dude. Come on.
No, it was funny. You were telling me that it was funny too.
Yeah,
you
I
just
know.
told us last week before we got recorded.
I know,
like,
and
hey,
then,
man,
you know
we're
what Nick
funny.
said?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, speaking about stroking egos, made me feel bad about myself
said
afterwards."
speak-
Well, let's
jerky.
let's
There's a
stroke you even
difference.
more. I had a listener that's a customer at the store
Uh-huh.
say how much he always looks forward to our episodes and loves us and basically cracks up on everything that we talk about and stuff.
Good.
He loves our energy and
No,
stuff.
I want to address something real quick because we've kind of had this like short little growth where you've been getting a lot of people coming in and saying some positive feedback. I've had some unexpected people come up to me and say like, "Hey, it's like really good." So to the new listeners, the new subscribers, everyone who's been following us these last couple of weeks, thank you so much for the positive feedback and the the criticism that comes with it as well. We thank you guys for it. We really mean it because we've been putting in a lot of work
What's up?
on the show and everything that we've been doing. So thank you guys. Thank you. While Nick is, doing his usual thing of
Playing
like
with
messing.
himself.
Yeah, exactly. As always.
I wasn't distracted.
First it was the brownie, now it's your gauntlets, dude, right?
Hang on,
Like
first
Jesus
off-
Christ, dude.
first
Can
off,
can
I
you
was
not
being
have a
silent.
moment of non-spotlight for a
First
second?
off, I was being silent, and I was doing this in the corner.
Exactly.
where
And then
it wasn't
Renee's the one that
bothering me.
noticed it.
You
So you
brought this
No,
up.
it wasn't me. It was
You did
Renee,
this.
dude.
So on
Okay?
the show, we're going to talk about comic strips. And we're going to review Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh
Things
yeah,
Among
that's
Us.
true. Stop, dude.
But where can people find us, Brian?
You guys can find us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our audio version of the podcast, which you guys can find on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, wherever you guys listen to your podcasts. And if you guys have not yet checked out our YouTube channel, the place where you guys can see the skits that we developed prior to the start of the show, go check out our YouTube, Keeping Up with the Nerds, and go subscribe. We're at 150 subs, so thank you for that. Yes.
Even number.
I can't believe it was last week. It was
Yeah.
149. We
Yeah.
had one more added this week, which is great. So
Yeah.
now we passed the threshold. Now we got to get to 200.
Yeah. And what was taking you so long? 150?
Okay. See, no, you know what?
Where have you been?
We expected you home a while ago. All right.
Know exactly who you are.
Monica.
Oh my
Serious?
God.
No, it's not.
I was gonna say,
That would have been hilarious.
that would have been so funny.
Oh my gosh. All right. So before we kickstart everything, just a quick little review of what's going to be happening today. On this issue, you guys can expect comic strips. We got a lot of pieces of comic strips to talk about today. It's pretty heavy.
Some good stuff.
Some good stuff. We're going to be talking about some wrestling. Wrestlemania just happened this
It
weekend.
just happened, yeah.
It just happened. According to, as of recording right now, it hasn't.
So I'm going to talk
And
to
the
the audience
people-
really quick as if we've seen it. I know, right? Did you see that pinfall?
Did you guys see when
I
Triple
know.
H
Yeah.
just like body slammed somebody?
know.
Did you see that moment?
That was a
Nicholas
quick- that was
Valero
a quick turnaround.
ran across the stage butt naked, grabbing his ball sacks.
That was for you.
Looking at Roman Reigns saying, "I want the title."
I gave him my move. It's called the brain. No, sorry, it's the Batwing.
Batwing. Cody Rhodes comes from behind you, clotheslines you.
To be clotheslined by Cody Rhodes, I feel like that would be
An honor.
That would be an honor. Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Clothesline me, please.
How'd he die? Cody Rhodes.
He got crossroaded.
That he did. That he did.
With the whole wrestling topic, after we moved on from that, we're going to be discussing Dungeons and Dragons, the new unexpected sleeper hit. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you guys can see over there in this little camera section on the bottom right corner, Nick is dressed up in a white shirt and gauntlets. Why is that, Nick? Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the skit. Watch the skit and you find out.
Go follow us on YouTube,
Yeah.
then you'll know
no,
why.
Honestly, I felt this is how I feel naturally. This is actually how I relax at home.
This is Nick.
This is
certified.
His other attire is just,
My other
that's
attire.
his dress up attire. This is his casual wear.
Honestly, I got these for LARP and also for the Renaissance Fair. That's what I got them for.
You're the type of nerd that nerds pick on, you know that, right?
What?
You
That's
want
probably
to go to a Renaissance. I was going to say Renaissance fair.
Renaissance.
a Renaissance.
Renaissance fair.
No, it's a Renaissance.
Is that the proper
It's
way?
it's your
It's
Renaissance.
It's your fair.
yeah.
My fair.
It's your rebirth.
I have come. like, I walked in.
You know, I'm the Renee in Renaissance.
You should do that if we ever go to a Renaissance
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Just be like, I am the Renaissance.
Yeah.
And just
But,
wear like a white robe.
No, yeah, because like this year, a friend of me and Andrew's, like she really wants. She goes every year, so we're planning on going to the Renaissance fair this year.
We should go to make a video of us going to the Renaissance fair. We should do that. You want to do that?
I know. I like how
It's gonna be a funny
I like
video.
how you make
Yeah.
fun of me, but you really want to do this stuff.
Well, 'cause
I
you're
just
mean to me.
I do
You're mean to
what
me,
you
that's
wish
why.
you could.
No, exactly. That's fine. But you're mean to me, so I have to like retaliate some sort of way, dude. That's how this
By
chemistry
hiding,
works, dude.
by hiding who you truly are.
Yeah.
You're in the closet.
No.
Nerdly.
You're in the nerd closet.
I'm in the nerd closet.
Trapped in
It's
the
okay
nerd
to be who
closet.
you are, Brian.
I don't watch anime. I don't go to Renaissance's fairs. Renaissance's fairs.
Mhm.
It's
Don't do
okay.
that.
You can identify as whatever you
I don't
want,
play
Brian.
Dungeons and Dragons.
If you want to
I know
identify,
you were like giving so many looks to when like we knew who were like the
The
D&D
D&D?
nerds watching the movie.
Walk into the restroom, this
Yeah.
guy with a white shirt and red collar, like what is it called? The red lining on the shirt.
Yeah.
He had says like Dungeons and Dragons on there. I walk back into the theater and I look at Renee and I'm just like, dude, I just saw this Dungeons and Dragons in the restroom.
Yeah.
Hey,
What a loser.
Freaking loser.
you know what, dude? Those popcorn buckets.
They were pretty sick.
Dude, there was one guy when we walked in the
He bought like 2
mall,
of them.
he bought like 4 or 5.
He had a trash bag full of
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
I think it was an employee.
I might.
Do you think so?
Yeah, a lot
Probably.
of D&D nerds work at AMC.
I wouldn't be surprised if they played D&D after hours.
Well, in this review, we'll tell you about how badly that theater stank because D&D nerds.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
It's
You guys literally
Magic
had
the
an
Gathering.
Allspice commercial, dude.
Smell like the other's basement.
Yeah, you want to smell like
I know.
Sunbaths?
I did think that was funny that there was an allspice commercial before the
Remember to
movie,
wear deodorant.
and then I turned to Renee, and mind you, in the jokiest way possible, I turned to Renee and I was like, "Oh, I never knew I wanted to smell like my mom's basement." But I'm down. Allspice, they cracked the code.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to discuss on today's issue, but before we get started with comic strips, quick update. How have you guys been? How's your days, your week? How's everything?
I'm still here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still breathing?
Still breathing.
He hasn't.
Luckily.
He hasn't gone.
And
with the
unfortunately?
demons.
Yeah.
he hasn't let the demons take over yet.
Not yet. They linger, but
No, I had the day off today.
That's cool.
oh yeah, you have the whole weekend off, huh?
Yeah, I have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
pretty
napped
excited.
and napped some more and then
Dude,
fell asleep and napped again
I
I went to
napped.
Monica's.
and napped.
No, I haven't been to Monica's yet.
Oh,
She
yeah?
was at work. She was at work today.
Oh, that's
But,
right. I was like,
Yeah, she still works. No, but I ended up finishing Bad Batch. Ended up catching up on. You ever seen the movie? The TV show Blackbird with Taron Egerton.
oh, I've heard of it. Yeah.
The one where he goes to jail and then he's supposed to like make friends with a serial killer.
Yeah.
And then I also watched Tetris.
How was
Oh, is that out already?
Dude, Tetris is on Apple TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was so much fun.
All right. It hasn't been getting positive reviews, so.
I
It's
liked
up
it.
on Apple TV. Not a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I
gets reviewed well on Apple TV. 'cause
it's an
hard to
inter-
get.
It's also Apple TV.
It's a really interesting story of just because it's in the USSR and just like how exactly the rights were going through where, this one person created Tetris, but it became the property of Russia because it's a communist nation.
Yeah.
And then Russia didn't want to sell the rights, but people were just stealing the rights and then just marketing it out. It was interesting.
I think it's the Gaming Historian on YouTube. They did a documentary on the history of Tetris. And
Yeah.
he goes through all of that. So that's a pretty good video to watch. Gaming Historian, I think it is. Can you look it up real quick to see if I was right?
Yeah.
Because I really want to shout out that channel. Channel's great because he talks about like the history of Super Mario Brothers.
He
He'll
doesn't
talk
need
about
our
the
help. Trust us.
Huh?
Trust me, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't need our help. But if anyone doesn't know, it doesn't hurt to shout him out because
No, right.
their content's pretty good. The Tetris history documentary was pretty good as well. So go give him a watch. And
Yeah.
Tetris is out on Apple TV now.
It's really good, especially like the fight between who exactly gets the rights, the amount of corruption that was going on in Russia that was keeping the
Gaming historian.
Gaming Historian, thank you.
gaming
Yeah.
historian, yeah. But like the amount of corruption that's going on in the world inside of like Russia at that point, near the fall of the Communist Party, it was really, really good.
Cool.
I enjoyed it, but
All right.
I'm also like a weird person who likes video game like history and also just history.
I mean, I like video game history too. That doesn't make you weird.
Some people think that.
Well, I like gaming history, so it does make you weird.
Well, next time we'll cuddle and watch it.
No, stop. We're not.
Today.
All right.
Andy, you
so
heard it.
Tetris.
Andy,
With
it's a date.
that said, no, stop. Don't
date.
talk to the camera. I'm banning you from talking to the camera.
You can't ban me to do anything.
I'm gonna ban you from talking to the camera.
What, are you
Moving
Russia?
on. Comic strips. Are we ready to talk about comic strips?
Yes.
Yes, if you guys aren't familiar with this portion of the show, Comic Strips is the bit of the show where we talk about topics that don't merit a 5 to 15 minute conversation. We try to keep everything down to a minimum and make sure that Nick behaves himself and doesn't tangent on into long conversations. With that said,
Still happens.
you always...
I like how last time I was quiet during an entire
No, you still
session.
interrupted every time
No, I
I
didn't.
mentioned your name. Yeah,
no,
you always...
no, we all talked into discussion on each topic that for
Yeah.
comic
Yeah.
strips.
So
That's
don't you,
fine.
Don't you even come
No,
in.
it's because you tangent on. You're tangenting right now. Moving on. Comic strips. Are we ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
come at me.
All right. Martin Scorsese's Killer of the Flower Moon has a runtime of about 4 hours. If you're not familiar with this movie, it will premiere at some festival. I forget, the Cannes or Cannes Festival or something like that.
Cons.
Cannes?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's
I remember
the
it-
Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes.
I remember
It's the
Canes, Raising Canes,
Raising Canes.
Raising Canes Festival. Just a bunch of chickens.
Well, here's the thing. It's premiering at some festival. They don't know if it's going to be in or out of the competition, and it's going to be an Apple TV movie
Yeah.
that's going to star Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hang on, before I make fun of you.
No,
How
you're
is it
you already
spelled?
going to make fun of me.
No, I want to know how it's spelled. How's Cannes?
CANNIS?
Yes. No. ES.
Yes. So
Say-
Cannes?
see- yeah, it's Cans.
Cans. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was an I in there somewhere.
Canes. The Canes Film Festival.
They give chicken out to everybody.
The dog. The dog's there from Raising Canes, dude.
I didn't know Snoop Dogg had his own film festival.
Runtime of 4 hours. This man, I swear, when will he stop?
Until he's dead.
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. Josh Friedman, the writer of Avatar: The Way of Water, is set to write the screenplay for Fantastic Four.
Yay. I was just like,
Awesome. Another sleep fest,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, I just read like a possible rumor of what the Fantastic Four movie's gonna be like. Apparently, it's gonna take place in the 1960s,
which is cool.
and that they're gonna be traveling from different multiverse to multiverse, and that's what sparks the whole like Secret Wars. and
I'm
stuff
down with
like
that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, sure, whatever. You say that now until the trailer drops. You're going to be like, whoa, it's so cool, dude.
Whoa, all the digitals look the same. Just a bunch of blues.
That's it's really sad.
Stretchy
'cause
guy.
I remember when I was super excited in Marvel, but every movie's kind of the same now.
Oh, well, it's because,
Well, that's true. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Like every movie's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like there's no differentiation between the movies.
And who knows if we'll see, Jonathan Majors. And,
Yeah, and we don't know.
Oh,
like,
I
the whole-
forgot about that piece
the
of
whole-
news.
Yeah,
So-
the whole Kang stuff is like kind of up in the air right now.
So from what I've heard, this is what I've heard. This is not facts. That
did
so that it is a former ex-girlfriend. Again,
Ah.
rumor. That is basically because Jonathan Majors released his text messages
Mhm.
and to the public saying, and it was a text message to the woman that was in the hospital saying, "Hey, I want to know if you're okay. Just let me know if there's anything I can do. Blah 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 blah. Just let me know. I'm here for you if you need anything and stuff like that." So those
Yeah.
are the text messages he sent to the
In case
woman.
you don't know and you haven't, you've been living under a rock, Jonathan Majors was accused of DV, and that's the whole situation. So if he's
But
found
something
guilty-
has
and-
come out that he is the girl who accused him of this is dropping charges and no longer pursuing.
Yes.
That's supposedly the last piece of news that was heard of this.
Yeah.
The thing is that I don't know how Disney. Damn, that
Oh,
was
dude,
good.
Jesus
That was
Christ,
solid.
man.
Holy
Yeah.
shout! All right,
I really
so,
tried to go away from the camera. But it was so loud.
No, it was so loud.
Yeah.
Quick fart to put it away. No, but yeah, Jonathan Majors, because Disney is very quick to you're fired.
Yeah.
No,
it's
yeah,
not.
obviously.
No,
Look at
they
James
are.
Gunn.
Yeah,
They
like,
are, yeah.
they're super quick to even if there was just like a rumor
Mhm.
about it, like they're very quick to just kind of go like you're fired. We'll find somebody else. We don't want anything to do with
But
you.
I think
We're
they
a
learned with
family
James
company."
Gunn.
James Gunn, and they still haven't done anything with Brie Larson, which they're still kind of like they're still doing stuff with her.
Okay,
But
let's
they're retitling the movie.
let's set the record straight. By us talking about this, we're not defending violence by any means.
No.
First off, it's
We're-
TV. Get it right.
Sure.
No, you can't say it. You
Can't say it.
on YouTube. Then you get striked.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
That's why you gotta say TV.
So,
you gotta bleep yourself.
Yeah, you gotta bleep yourself. or else it's
oh
gonna
my
get
gosh.
striked.
All right. Mark it down for me. You know, when it comes down to it, we're not defending it, right?
No.
We're not. But we're simply looking at this, seeing how it's developing. And it is true. Disney does look at this and say, like, yeah, you're immediately fired from it. The thing is, I think that they've learned from what happened with James Gunn. Because the James Gunn accusations were pretty rough, and he was fair about it and said, like, yeah, these were things that happened years and years and years ago, right? And then what ended up happening? Disney took him back. So I don't think they're going to act on this and pull the trigger that quick.
It's weird because so far they've already done it. They've done it twice where they've just like immediately fired somebody. They did first one with Johnny Depp, then again with with James Gunn. James Gunn they hired back. Supposedly they're in talks with Johnny Depp to be in the new Pirates movie. Apparently, they are.
Yeah, he said though. I think he's done with Disney. But
He said that they would have to pay me a buttload. Like the money would have to be there in order for me to
Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
well, well now Jonathan Majors has had 2 contracts dropped by him, which is the U.S. Army because I guess he did some of the advertising for
Yes,
them
he
and
did.
stuff. And then there was another one. There was another contract he had. I think it was.
The U.S. Army one, that's right, because he did a commercial for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that got dropped immediately after
As
these
soon as-
accusations.
I think the accusation hit, and then I think within hours the U.S. Army went nope. But also that makes sense though. We can't even if you have to be squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Because the U.S. Army already has a problem with DV and all these other issues.
You know what? I saw a TikToker talk about that. They go, "That's funny that the U.S. Army decided to do that, where they're very if you look at the cases,
Yeah.
That have happened in the U.S.
they
Army.
they
Like
It's hypocritical.
DV is
gravitate
very
towards
Let's not
it's
dwell
very,
on-
it's very
Yeah.
popular inside of the enlisted. It's not a
Don't say it's popular, dude. It's a very.
it's a thing to do.
It's
Jesus.
All right, let's not dwell on this conversation. Point being,
you're gonna
Jonathan
get canceled
Majors
by
was
the US
accused, and
Army?
now he's like, they're trying to figure things out. Charges have allegedly been dropped. Moving on to more Marvel news.
Also,
No, you're done.
Also, I'm making a terrible joke.
I
in
think
no way-
obviously
in
you
no
already
way,
yes,
shape,
yeah,
in no way,
obviously.
shape, or form do I mean anything I say.
Yeah.
But
Disclaimer at the
Disclaimer.
bottom.
Please disclaimer.
just a disclaimer at the bottom.
We know Nick's not that type of person. So, moving on. In other Marvel news, Secret Invasion screenshots have been released over the last week. So, we have a lot of screenshots featuring a lot of the actors that are going to be there, but also a synopsis has been revealed by Twitter page Discussing Films and Variety Fair. Synopsis reads, it's a Cold War espionage thriller that follows Nick Fury as he uncovers a conspiracy to quietly install double agents into positions of power around the world using scrolls. Pretty much what we already knew.
Yeah, that's. I mean, secret. That's the. I'm almost positive that's on the back of the comic.
I literally pulled it. I was like, that's it.
Like I'm like 90% sure they just got the back of the comic and they put it right there, and they were like,
So
done.
it's Nick Fury using scrolls as double agents?
I think so.
So I think
It's
he-
not.
I think
It's not the scrolls invading us.
To quietly install double. No, it's a conspiracy of someone installing scrolls in
Oh, so
position
it's
of
not
power.
okay.
So scrolls
Scrolls are
have been
being
co-opted.
used.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone is convincing the scrolls to take positions of power.
Okay. All
It's
right.
probably Hydra again. It's always Hydra.
Well, it was, in the comic books, it was the Queen scroll. So
Queen
I mean,
Scroll.
yeah, sure, but the
which was
the
Spider
MCU.
Woman.
But
It
that
was
was
the
it, but-
Spider Woman scroll.
Yeah, but okay. Here's my thing about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the scrolls as villains in this one,
Sure.
but in the Captain Marvel movie, the entire point was
That's exactly
that
what
the
I
scroll-
said when Captain Marvel
yeah.
came out. I was like, how are you going to do that?
because the scrolls are supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah,
Because
but
this-
they're
that was a
refugees.
faction of
Yeah.
scrolls.
Yeah.
That was those were the refugee factions
I
that
get-
were left
yeah.
here. There could be another faction of scrolls coming in here saying
So it's
like,
gonna
oh,
be scroll on scroll.
it's probably scroll on scroll action,
Scroll
dude.
and scroll
So-
crime.
It's the worst kind of crime.
So who knows? It's interesting. The shots look really good.
It does.
It does look
actually,
like a good series.
So again, this will tie in with Armor Wars after.
Yeah.
So whatever Rhodey is doing in here will bleed
Well-
into Armor Wars.
Well, the
for him.
synopsis for Armor Wars was that after the fall of Stark Industries,
Mhm.
his technology has now been co-opted by a lot of other companies, and they're using it for basically misdeeds.
Mhm.
Like they're using it as weapons of war, and now
Yeah.
he's going out to go collect all of the all of Tony's stuff, so that way it doesn't tarnish his legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not going to be that long until the series comes out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I mean, give it a couple months after Mandalorian probably wraps up, and then we'll probably have Secret Invasion.
Just letting you know, in Bad Batch, Krennic was in it. And they were talking about Krennic, the guy from Rogue One. They were talking about Operation Stardust.
Speaking of Star Wars, Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I've caught. I'm 2 episodes behind now.
Okay, so
Okay.
really quick, it's not even that big of a deal,
Yeah, but
it
it's
is-
a cool cameo.
It's a cool cameo.
Wait, don't tell me. For Mando?
Yes,
Yes, but it's of a series you
it's a
probably
series
never
you've never
watched.
watched.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
It's so from Rebels, they actually had a Rebels crew member show up on the Mandalorian as a New Republic Ranger,
Okay,
and it's
That's cool.
for Zeb.
It was Zeb.
Yeah,
gotcha. Well,
And
we'll-
The big monkey.
Now more
he's-
stuff that I
he's
need
like-
to watch.
Yeah, he's the big monkey looking dude.
Yeah.
with the
Which
big
he
goatee.
looked good.
He looked amazing.
He looked good for live action animation character put into live action. I was like,
Oh yeah, I thought it was funny too because I saw him walk up in the
Yeah.
episode, and I was kind of like, "That's kind of cool. Like that's awesome that
Yeah,
they
they
just put like
They
his
put
pe-
one
a
of his
Lazat.
kind. Yeah.
they put a Lazat inside of Mando, and then as soon as I started hearing him talk, I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's Zeb."
Yeah. And I had to look it up too. I was like, wait, what does he look like? Does he have like a purple haze in his
Yeah.
skin? And he does.
He has a purple haze and the beard. Yeah, and the beard and
that's
everything
pretty
else.
Cool. Look at Dave Filoni just wanting to again. Did you throw? Watch my shit. He's like,
Did you also see that Dave Filoni's in that scene too?
yeah, I saw that.
Was he really?
Yeah,
he was.
because what was it? Dave Filoni, Deborah Chow, and one of the other directors from The Mandalorian, because they were Rangers of the New Republic in like season 2 or season 1. So they were also in the bar of like because it's just a Rangers bar. And so like it's all of them just relaxing, drinking, and you see Dave Filoni with his cowboy hat, and I was like, "There's Dave! There he is! There he is!"
Nah, good for him.
Yeah.
Look, have fun. I think that's the whole point.
That's
Star
the
Wars
thing.
is exhausting, like Marvel
Yeah.
right now. There's just too much of it. If these guys that are producing the show and running it, if they're having fun, then we'll have fun with it too.
Really quick, I've had this discussion with another customer because he watches Mando too. He put up a good point. It's funny because so far fans have been kind of giving negative feedback on these past episodes of Mando, and most of it is just because of how the episodes have been structured. And I think they're perfectly fine personally.
I've been enjoying them.
I've been really enjoying them because I've been loving. I mean, how far are you into it?
So the last episode I watched was the one where they took the
Do they go to Mando?
scientist.
To the-
Oh,
scientist and
the
the
Empire
mechanic.
scientist. What'd you think of that
Nice.
episode?
You are-
It
you
was
2
weird,
episodes
but I
back.
liked it because it was
Yeah.
very Andor. I see why people were saying it's very Andor
Yeah.
because it's very story driven. There wasn't
Mhm.
a lot of action. It was just kind of like, oh, pay attention to the details between two characters.
So I was talking about to get into that episode really quick. I was like, "There's better be a reason why we're getting into this story arc or
And
this
is it
little
explained?
thing." It's explained in this past episode that they just showed this week.
Okay.
Because they're
Yeah.
they're talking about how there's an overarching conspiracy that's going on, and it does sound like it's kind of leading more towards Thrawn.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah.
we're
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
we're getting
Which is
closer and
interesting,
closer.
yeah.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to having a Thrawn series or anything else because Zeb is said to be in
Yeah.
Ahsoka
Mhm.
with everybody else. So that's going to be really cool. I love the idea of them going like, we need to test Zeb out and see
Yeah.
how people like it. So let's just put him in an episode of Mando and let's go from there.
Well, the whole Mando arc in general, I really love how they're doing building up Bo-Katan's story arc in this one.
Yes.
That they're making her rethink about everything about Mandalore and
What
stuff
it
like
means to
that.
be a Mandalorian.
Yeah, and it's really
That's what I
interesting.
liked about that
Mhm.
end of the last episode
Yeah.
when the clan brings her back in.
Yes, yeah.
Because she technically
Like, it's
has
better.
bathed in the water. Yeah, and
It's
I'm like,
better.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, oh, there's actual hope. Like there's like a little bit of
Yeah.
hope,
Mhm.
but you don't know what direction it's headed towards. Like, is she wanting
Yeah.
to seize the power, or is she
Yeah.
doing this for
That's a
the good of
thing.
Mandor?
Yeah, we don't know.
Next 2 episodes, you'll get more and more of
Yeah.
that.
Cool.
So it's good.
I did like how they're treating like she's keeping that scene, the mythosaur, to herself.
Yeah.
I do like how she's keeping that to herself. She's not. She didn't tell Mando. She doesn't need to tell Mando.
No.
It's more of her like, well, that kind of restored
I
faith.
know. I
in
thought,
her.
I thought it was
Exactly.
funny too because when I was watching it, and then I was like, well, the Mythosaur pulled him under in the water, and then I was watching it, and they were like, no, he's just heavy.
Yeah, his armor.
He's just heavy. He
He's all
fell.
Beskar. Like,
Yeah, he just fell.
Yeah.
Like literally, he walked
what a
too far,
dummy, dude.
and then he fell off the
That's a very
Mythosaur.
Pedro Pascal
I
thing.
know.
Like,
I just thought that was so funny. Of like, he walked in the water and he's like mid speech, and then he just goes bloop. Yeah, and he just falls all the way down because he's just
that's
pure
great.
Beskar.
Oh my god.
He's
We'll
so
have
heavy.
Mando conversations once the series wraps up, I think.
yeah.
Because there's a lot to talk about, but it's a weird season. I'll put it that way.
It's interesting though because in Bad Batch they went more into them decommissioning the clones.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot of this season, and like what it means to have like clone rights, where are the clones going, the fact that they're really that the Emperor has an idea to do with the clones. They've already killed the Kaminoans, but how exactly do we steal that technology because the Emperor has an idea?
Gotcha.
So they're really trying to connect all the dots to Snoke. Like,
No,
really-
yeah, which
they're
makes
really-
sense.
They're
It's
really
like-
trying to
We'll
attach
talk
these
Mando
things.
at a
like that,
later
yeah.
issue. We'll talk Mando in a later issue.
Yeah.
This is already a 5-minute conversation on Mando, which was not on the list.
Sorry.
See, you tangented.
I didn't. He did.
I did.
No, I'm blaming you still, regardless of it. Moving on. In movie news, there are some casting rumors or casting official people taking over some roles. Taron Egerton is returning as Eggsy in the new Kingsman movie.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, so he's
So we're
I thought-
moving
I-
forward.
We're
from,
moving- yeah.
from Golden Circle,
yes,
and not King's Man.
not the King's Man. It's
Which I honestly would have. I wouldn't mind a sequel to King's Man.
It was
no,
good
that
too.
was a good. It was a
Yeah.
good one. It was a
Yeah.
good Kingsman movie.
Uh-huh.
But-
I love Voldemort. Yeah.
But they are moving on with a third, the Kingsman
Yeah.
movie.
I was waiting for him in the middle of the movie of like him sword fighting, and then out of nowhere, just go, just take the guy out. You know, that's it. That's how he stopped World War One.
I didn't know this one. They're making a live action Lilo and Stitch movie, and they've confirmed the casting for Lilo.
Mhm.
Uh,
I
it-
say Stitch.
that's
It's Peter Dinklage.
oh, it's my dog, dude.
Yeah.
Joey.
It's so messed up. Why does it automatically have to? I mean, don't get me
You're
wrong.
right.
He's in
Warwick Davis. You're right.
you know what? Warwick Davis actually would be pretty sick.
Pretty good
No, but
Stitch.
Lilo's casted. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's Mia Kaleko or something like that.
Kaliko?
Kaliko, probably. I don't know if she's been in anything.
It sounds Hawaiian.
It's Hawaiian, yeah. But they've casted Lilo finally. Good. Michelle Rodriguez has come out. Basically saying that there was a scene in the new Fast movie that was filmed without a director. The scene where her and Charlize Theron
Are fighting?
was filmed without a director. Quote, bro, like hands down, drop mic, we nailed it. We were there. We don't need a director. Let's do this. That's basically how it was revealed in her interview. That they did
I'm
not.
assuming it's while she was being interviewed for D&D.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that entire scene was filmed without a director, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it was
to
pretty
see.
messy. So yeah.
Makes sense. We haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah,
When does
but I
it come
saw
out?
the trailer. Oh, it comes out the end of the
It comes
April.
out- Yeah, comes out end of April.
Cool. So
We got to see that, and we got to see Renfield comes out in like 2 or 3
Renfield,
weeks.
Mario Brothers movie,
Yeah.
Air.
See, April is just as bad as March for us. Like,
Well, Eric comes out.
Air comes out. No, Air comes out the same day as Super Mario Brothers,
yeah, it's this.
the 5th.
Yeah, it's this week.
Yeah,
Oh, it comes out as this podcast drops.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's going to be
So what do
interesting.
we do? Do we see? Super
We
Mario
watch 'em
Brothers?
all.
Or
No,
do we
we-
watch
we-
Air?
It's the
We
same
do- we
thing
do a
as
double feature.
Oppenheimer. We go watch Bombs
Do a
Drop, and
double-
then we go watch Barbie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we agreed to that.
I'm looking forward to that opening weekend and then just watching Barbie just skyrocket.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna
Of
laugh
like
so
no
Plastic
one,
dolls
no,
beats
no one wanted to.
atomic
No
bomb.
one's
gonna be like, what the heck? How did the blonde Barbie movie beat me? I was about nuclear bombs.
I used real bombs in this
Yeah.
movie, dude. God.
I destroyed the environment of an entire small area.
I reminded people about the devastation of atomic bombs.
Mhm.
Why didn't I win? Well, because you're Christopher Nolan. That's why.
Josh Peck was in this movie. I cut him a break.
How many times do you think that in Oppenheimer it's just gonna be like a swinging shot and you're just hearing
Yeah. That's gonna be from beginning, middle to end, and then when the bomb drops.
So in quick Power Ranger news, Amy Jo Johnson has confirmed that her and Jason David Frank have not or did not participate in the production or acting of Once and Always.
Once and Always? Was it Once and Always?
It's Once and Forever.
yeah, Once and Forever.
Or Once and Always.
Yeah.
Something like that. They didn't partake in this movie, not because for money reasons, but for personal reasons that she just doesn't want to share. Because apparently this movie was filmed before his death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they revealed that.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
And
And
he was heavily in production for the White Dragon.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He also might have just been busy.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it. Not only that, but also the White Dragon's getting a theatrical release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy.
But
We
Amy
also
Jo
have to watch
Johnson did reveal that she is working on a Power Rangers comic book for Boom. It's a Pink Ranger centric
That's
arc.
cool.
So that's going
Yeah.
to be something to look forward to if you guys are interested.
I do. You know what? It could also be that the money just wasn't there. It could have been that she didn't like the story.
I mean, she said that it's like maybe it was because I'm 50 years old and don't want to wear spandex.
It could be that
I think,
too.
yeah, that too. And plus, there's plenty of other Pink Rangers in the past. you
Yeah.
know, that we've had over the years.
Yeah.
So,
Like
She was
there
one of the Rangers that got replaced after.
Yes.
yeah.
Mighty Morphin.
She got replaced by a cat named Cat.
Yeah.
Catherine? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that piece of
I think
news.
Catherine's the one that's in the movie. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's the Pink Ranger they go with. Yeah.
That's the same Pink Ranger that was in Turbo, isn't it?
That's so
Yes.
from
No, SPD.
At least in
Isn't it?
comic
No,
book
she's in
lore.
Turbo.
Oh.
So in comic book lore, that's who Tommy ends up with.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, but in general,
Yeah.
that in the show,
Uh-huh.
because she's at the very end of the run of the Mighty Morphin, and then she goes into Turbo.
Yeah,
Well, no, I'm sorry. She's in Zeo.
Yeah, she's in Zeo, and then
She's
she
in
goes
Zeo,
into Turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense that Tommy gets with her.
Yeah.
Oh, and Power Rangers
stuck
is in
around.
April too.
Mhm.
Power Rangers is in April too.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
on
yeah.
Netflix. We can watch that whenever.
Yeah, but I'll watch it during
I mean,
release,
like,
so.
obviously we are gonna watch it, but it's not like a theater movie.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's
not. It's not.
It's on
In
A-list.
video game news, E3 is officially canceled and will be on permanent hiatus for
Shocking.
the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not surprising.
But with the death of one comes the revival of another. Sonic the Hedgehog releases a new video game, surprise, surprise, that is free on Steam.
Sonic Adventure.
It is The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh.
It's what?
The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
So what's the plot? Are you going?
You're
around
trying to
hunt
figure out how
Sonic?
Sonic got murdered.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's a game that's developed and
Look at-
published by Sega. I'm not joking. It's free on Steam.
It's free on Steam right
It's
now.
free on Steam right now.
I want it.
Yeah. I thought it was fake. Because we actually had her on the show a couple I think about a year ago. Cece, she posted it on her Instagram that the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was a game. It's like, oh, well, Sonic's dead now, and I'm like, what the heck? Look it up, and it's for real. The Murder of Sonic the
yeah.
Hedgehog. Yeah,
IGN right here.
and it's like a story
Oh
telling.
my
Yeah,
God.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Dang. That's crazy.
yeah,
Oh my god.
it's great.
He's inside out.
Oh, is Tails the detective? That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, look at Knuckles. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's of course, man. Knuckles is the cool guy. Come on, you can't.
Well, I didn't do it. He's not like,
Knuckles like, I didn't do it. I just blew him.
that's crazy.
Legend
Someone
of
murdered my
Zelda,
darling Sonic.
Tears
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Kingdom. You've never played Breath of the Wild, huh?
No.
No, but you've played Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom had a gameplay trailer thing or premiere of like how it was going to be playing. I think the only mechanic they really showed off was the fact that you can build weapons with things around you and build
Yeah.
vehicles that'll make you travel faster. That's it. The game still pretty much looks the same, as Breath of the Wild.
The fact that they added that crafting mechanic is interesting in a Link game. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't get me excited for it. Cool. We get another Breath of the
it's
Wild. I wasn't a fan of Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still Twilight Princess, Minish Cap, and
My dog.
yeah.
My dog. Yeah.
Twilight
Well,
Princess,
those-
Minish
well,
Cap,
the-
and Wind Waker.
Those have
Yeah.
like a enclosed kind of narrative, while Breath of the Wild is like just so open.
That was my problem.
Yeah.
That was
And
my
I
big
think,
problem.
And I think on paper the idea is cool. Like Legend of Zelda open world. Like,
Yeah.
Cool.
But the thing is that I really liked like Twilight Princess
Mhm.
because it added the new mechanic of like, oh, you turn into a dog,
Yeah.
or you like it just added these like little cool things where it's like you can only achieve this as your altered self. Or
It kept you on pace too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you didn't have to diverge yourself to go figure some stuff out. Like
Yeah.
Minish Cap, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess all have the same mechanic where it keeps you on a path, very linear, but you have this ability to traverse through two different worlds. Like in
Yes.
Minish Cap, you can be very Minish and traverse the world as like a tiny micro little Link,
Yeah.
or as Big Link, right? Twilight Princess, same thing. You can traverse the world from the Twilight Zone all the way over to like the regular world as a wolf or regular. And then in Wind Waker, the world's open to you, but you have to complete the map and still go through this linear path of trying to figure out why they took
I mean,
your pirate friend.
no matter what, inside of a Zelda game, you always have to go to the temples at least twice.
Exactly.
That's, I mean, no matter what, that's
Yeah.
just a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But you are right. I do think I feel like at a certain point, Wind Waker there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
And the world is so expansive, but the thing is that it's also kind of empty.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's the problem with a lot of the Switch games that are open world. Like even Arceus felt empty.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like very well populated. It doesn't feel anything else. Even Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, you're talking about the Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends
Yeah.
Arceus. Yeah, I was like Arceus.
No, I'm talking about just in general these
Legend
open.
of Zelda.
Well, no,
Arceus.
I know, but I'm talking about these open world
Yeah.
games that Nintendo's developing. The Switch can't really process.
It's running a
Really,
like
like-
7-8-year-old cell phone processor.
I know, and that's why it can't process populating all of these, all these sprites
Yeah.
to really make it feel alive. Because there's sections of Breath of the Wild where you're just like, I haven't seen an enemy in like 10 minutes.
You're just
like,
basically walking like
You're just
through
walking.
a desert.
yeah, and the
it's-
same thing.
yeah.
Same thing in Arceus too, where you just see patches of like Pokemon just everywhere, and then you'll start walking and you won't see anybody for like 5
No,
minutes.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it happens. We'll see what more gets revealed because this game comes out in May. So
Mhm.
we'll see what else happens. Last bit of gaming news. I'm excited for this one. Mario Brothers comes out next week, right?
Okay.
Who is playing Donkey Kong?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, right? What is the most popular Donkey Kong thing for the old school people?
Donkey Kong Kongs.
No, Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
Mhm.
The DK rap, dude.
Are you talking about the bongos?
No,
That's
that's
Donkey Kong
Jungle
Kongs.
whatever. Yeah, that's that one. No, I'm talking about DK rap, dude, for the N64.
I thought it was Donkey Kong.
DK. Oh my
Donkey
god. dude.
Kongs.
I thought it was Donkey Kong Conga.
Conga? Was it?
Is it
Donkey
Conga?
Kong? I don't know. I remember doing that.
Yeah, where the controller was the Kong.
It was a good game. No, but DK rap. Have you guys not heard of the DK rap?
If
don't-
Are you guys serious?
I don't
Yeah.
remember it if I do.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll play it afterwards. It was for the N64.
Was it inside Donkey
It-
Kong Country?
No, it was in Donkey Kong 64.
If my video store didn't have
Oh.
it, then I've never played it.
For what?
I rent all my N64 games at the
Well,
time.
now
through
my
a video
excitement's
store.
dead because I was excited for DK rap to be in this, and it is.
Are you talking about the D?
Okay, Donkey Kong. Yeah, that one.
It's the baddest of them. That
Yeah,
one?
that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the movie.
It's
Apparently,
in that movie.
it's how Donkey Kong's gonna be introed.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm hyped for it.
Mhm.
Last piece of news for comic strips before we move on. We've actually got some real science nerdy news in this week's issue, so that's gonna be something.
Skip it.
Are you talking about how Elon Musk and
No, forget that guy. A giant hole around 18 to 20 Earth sizes wide
Yeah.
has appeared on the sun.
Mhm.
It'll be sending out solar winds about 1.8 million miles per hour in our direction. Will not cause structural damage, but it'll create some auroras to basically pop in the sky where it hasn't appeared before. So that's going to be interesting.
It's the end of the world. Everybody make out with everybody.
I cannot. I cannot wait for people to like look up at the sky. It's like, ah! The sky's rainbow in that night.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
It's just an electronic pulse. People with peacemakers are just going.
Sorry, Brian.
I like how you were saying like Nick's too dark, and then you're over here going
Yeah.
like just people
Death.
drop. What an asshole, dude. And we missed out on a multi-million-dollar idea because mathematicians have discovered a new shape.
And what is it?
It's called the hat.
What?
It's a 13-sided polykite that's also an
Whoa, you can't
aperiodic.
say that, all right? Dude.
Bleep it.
Yeah. You gotta bleep that.
Why?
4132.
That's what it says on here.
That's your
an
personal
ape.
notes.
Hey, man, I'm just saying
I'm trying to read the last part.
we don't agree with what he just said. Whatever that polygon is, that's its own business.
I mean,
It's
we're not in
a-
1940s.
That's
okay?
also an aperiodic
What is this, Boston?
monotile.
Really?
Do you know what that even means?
I don't want to look up what you just said either.
I want to see what it looks like.
The shape of the hat, dude, it literally looks like a hat. Basically, the shape can cover an entire surface with multiple copies of itself. And it's never been discovered
And it's
before.
the shape of a hat.
It's the shape of a hat.
Hatchet.
The hat shape.
Okay, no, hold on. Let's see. News. Put that
You
to
gotta
news.
put new shape.
New shape discovered.
UK new
That's
30.
inside it. Yeah, right there.
You're looking up an NPR article.
Does it have a picture? It's just like
Why would
you're doing a story on a shape.
There's no
and there's no picture of the shape?
Is this the
Dude,
shape?
that's the shape right there.
That's not a hat,
Dude, that's a hat, dude. It's a hat with 2 dents.
First off, that's 2 boots.
That's 2 Italies together.
It's 2 boots. Just saying.
Dude, imagine the person who figured this out. Like, what were they doing the entire
They were
time, dude?
smoking weed. That's what they were doing.
Drawing lines on
They
paper.
were smoking weed and just like drawing lines. And that's squiggles.
That's
That is not a shape. That's
So
squiggles.
this-
You know how I
So-
feel like this shape was created? They were drawing that cool S we all drew in elementary school. and
they
then
messed
they
up?
like missed a line somewhere. It's like, oh, I just discovered the shape, dude.
How is this a shape?
Apparently it's a shape.
Sure, whatever.
Dude, if we would have been squiggling on paper, we could figure it out. The next thing we have to do
Dude, I'm
is
like-
make a shape that's 20 sides big.
I'm like 90% sure I've made that before. Like just
sell it,
doodling.
dude? Why
Like
did you
just
sell
doodling.
it?
Because I didn't think it was a shape. I thought it was me scribbling. I'm like 90% sure I've drawn that before.
We can figure a shape out.
Yeah, we could just draw a penis and call it a shape.
Literally draw a shape right now.
Damn it, the pen won't work.
Oh my god, that wraps up comic strips while Nick
Yeah.
tries to figure out a shape.
Shape.
Where? What do you call that?
Angel.
It looks like you tried to draw the England flag. You just failed.
I thought it kind of looked like a glove.
What's that for the guy from Scary Movie 2? Like,
It's my strong hand.
All right, that wraps up comic strips for this week. Renee, can you fill us in on what happened in the world of wrestling this week?
No, because it hasn't happened yet.
no, okay, yeah. Obviously, we can't talk about WrestleMania because upon recording, it is Friday.
We can talk.
night.
We can assume what happened.
We can assume. I'm really quick. I really think as the main card event, I think Cody Rhodes is gonna win. I want Cody
Oh.
Rhodes to win.
Pull up the two cards because it's
I have
interesting
them.
how they split them up.
So yeah. So again, this is upon recording that we just
So who's
released
the first card on Saturday?
Saturday.
Yeah.
So the main event on Saturday will be John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship.
He's trying to read it, dude.
John Cena, Austin Theory. He's a new guy, but he's been.
Band say her.
No, it's HLR.
That's a U.
That's a L.
That's the hat, dude.
Oh, it is an L.
Oh my god.
Tell me that doesn't look like a U.
Can you let him read the rest of the card? This is
Yeah.
why I mean that you tangent, dude.
It looked like a U.
Okay, and then you got Charlotte
shut
Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships.
This is the Saturday card.
This is just Saturday. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control.
Yeah.
Seth frickin' Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Okay.
Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio.
That's a Saturday card?
It's a Saturday card.
That's a weird one.
And then this is just it's a 3-way tag team match. Brian Strowman, Ricochet versus the Street Profits, which has Air
Montez.
Montez on it.
Oh, before you move on to
Yeah.
the Sunday card,
Mhm.
real quick, to the person that came up to us or came up to Renee and
Mhm.
said that there were some things that
Oh yeah.
we could have, maybe been a little more accurate with.
Mhm.
We apologize.
Oh,
In
yeah.
all seriousness, we apologize. We're new to the world of
we
wrestling.
just are coming back to
We're,
it.
exactly. So we're going to be rusty. So
Yeah.
let me say this. If there is something that we said that was wrong, feel free to comment down below in the YouTube video to let us know what we said wrong and help us correct it. What the hell are you what are you miming?
That you were wrong and not me.
You may be wrong sometimes. You know what? Also comment down below when Nick's wrong about some Star Wars stuff. Just humble him down a little bit. Yeah, but no, feel free to comment down below. We're new. We're learning. We want to know more. So go ahead.
Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders.
Oh, wow, that was funny.
And then this is Sunday. I'm going to read from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
So Sunday will start with Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalia and Shozi versus Ronda Rousey and Shanae versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. That's also another tag team women's wrestling match. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Edge versus Finn Balor and Hell in a Cell. Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Then you got Bianca Belair versus Akusa for the Raw Women's Championship. And then our main event is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
All right. Honest question.
Cody Rhodes' hair looks pretty dope.
Oh,
yeah, he
it's
dyes his
dope.
hair now because his dad used to have blonde hair too.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Which day looks more exciting for you?
You
I'm
know
going to
what?
say Saturday.
Saturday is very fun. It's a fun day. So I will say this. So for Saturday, I won't be bored. I'm not gonna have like I'm gonna be like, oh god, it's this match.
Are you gonna check out for the Logan Paul match?
No, I'm gonna tune in for that one because I feel like it won't be long. I'll be surprised if it's long because I do think that Logan Paul is gonna do some high flying stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then you're gonna have Seth Rollins just like stomping on his head at the end of the match, which is a scary move, by the way. You've seen Seth Rollins' finishing move. He like as soon as they're like getting up like this, he literally gets his foot and stomps on their head.
He curb stomps him.
Yeah, and it's just so scary because I'm super afraid he's gonna do it wrong and just snap someone's neck.
Did you see the Instagram post that WWE posted on this week where they showed off Brock Lesnar's attempt to do like a somersault off the wire or off the
top turnbuckle?
Yeah,
he
and
did that
like,
WrestleMania 19.
And he failed, and his neck hit the ground
He
first.
tweaked his neck first. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says he always wants every time at WrestleMania he always wants to have that high WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
And he says he'll do anything to do it, you know. But I'm gonna be surprised because I think what they're doing is that with Brock Lesnar they want him to pick up Omos and basically F5 him and stuff like that.
Yeah, which
they haven't shown him pick him up yet because he's so big. He's taller than Omos is taller than Shaq.
Yeah.
Which he's a huge dude. He's a heavy dude. He's like 500 pounds, I think.
It'll be an interesting WrestleMania because I was always under the belief that Sunday cards were the bigger
Can you give me
ones.
water? Yeah.
Please?
Please. Thank you.
Yeah, jerk. Get out of here. Lock the door. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I was always under the belief that Sunday cards were the bigger ones.
Sunday cards, so WWE, as of the past 5 years of WrestleMania, they like to switch things up.
Yeah.
They had, for the first time, I think it was a couple years ago, they had for the first time ever, it was a women's championship match was the main event to end WrestleMania, which was cool. That was really cool. And they also had like a main, like what you would think would be a main event match start WrestleMania. Like a championship match. I think it was Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre.
Thank you.
It was Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. That opened WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And so they like to switch things up. I knew that the Hell in a Cell match was going to be on Sunday.
Well, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's the celebrity.
I didn't think that the John Cena and Austin Theory was going to be a Saturday match.
I think it's because it's a jam-packed WrestleMania because there's so many things going on this year that it's like, how do we fit everything in there? To me, the big ones are obviously John Cena versus Austin Theory, Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, and that one's kind of like a minor minor one to be excited for. The Rey Mysterio Dominic Mysterio match.
Yeah, so that's funny because when Saturday starts, that's going to be the second match.
How much do you want to bet that story bleeds into the Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair?
It might,
right?
It just might,
because if Rhea Ripley loses that match against Flair, that's a big blow to Judgment
she's not gonna
Day.
Be happy. Yeah, she's not going to be happy about that.
And if Dominic loses to Rey, then what is left over from that? You know,
I don't know. We could see the end of Judgment Day by WrestleMania.
I don't think the end.
I think we're gonna see. Nikki's.
Yeah, totally. Maybe you should be watching wrestling, Nick. All right, maybe that way you can be invested.
I have to watch everything else you won't.
Okay.
So
then I'm watching stuff that you won't either. All right.
Bad
it's not that I
Batch,
won't. Yeah, I know. I have all the other nerdy things that we have to watch that you just
Ted
refuse to.
Lasso,
Yeah.
I miss Ted Lasso, man.
I want to watch it.
Who's the guy that's from oh my god, what's his name? Sheamus was supposed to fight him. It was the that match.
For the Intercontinental Championship?
Is it?
That's on Sunday. Drew McIntyre, Gunther.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
So originally, they did that whole thing where it's like Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the #1 contender spot for the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther.
Yeah.
I don't know why
That's-
Gunther doesn't sound like a wrestler's name.
Dude, he's pretty badass.
It's John Cena versus Gunther.
Gunther. The Undertaker versus the Gunther.
Dude, that setup was pretty sick.
That was pretty good.
Because dude, the way that it was set up,
Mhm.
so that way, who was it? The not the CEO, but the
The like wrestling associate manager or something.
something like that. He's like, yeah, so you messed up by interfering with this match
Mhm.
that was supposed to decide your opponent.
Yeah.
I am now making it official that you're gonna face them both in
Yeah.
a 3-way fight. And I'm like, that's freaking dope, dude.
Yeah, triple threat matches are fun. I
Yeah.
like them. They're really cool.
I
mean,
like
who doesn't like a 3-way? So it's like,
yeah.
But
It's way too much.
it's too much.
It's too much.
I can't space up my time.
I barely know what to do with one person.
All right, final thoughts. Final thoughts.
I'm really excited for WrestleMania this weekend.
You were excited
Why was I? Oh,
because
yes,
you'll
I
be
was,
watching
yes.
it this weekend.
Upon recording, I am excited for watching WrestleMania this weekend. And no, but I'm wondering what will come out of it.
Okay.
Because not only that, I'm excited just to watch it, but I'm also excited to see where they're moving on from here.
Yeah.
How what's going to happen after.
What stories didn't finish in WrestleMania to
Yeah.
continue on?
Because they usually do that. They wrap everything up from the whole WrestleMania story arcs in Backlash.
Yeah.
Which is another pay-per-view event.
It'll be interesting.
It's on
One-
Peacock, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be on Peacock.
Yeah, you can watch it on Peacock. It starts around like 5 o'clock, I think.
I know. Lucas is going tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Does the ticket get you both days or just one?
You can buy both
I'm not-
tickets.
yeah,
It's
I'm
it's
not
like
sure, but I do know he might have gotten both.
I'm
Because I know he also went to a couple of pre-events too.
If
that was
WrestleMania-
happening on Friday. Yeah.
If WrestleMania 40 is in Los Angeles again, do you guys want to go?
Yeah, I'm down.
Or somewhere. I think they're gonna do. So what I've noticed is that whenever they do a big event like this, in the mid-year they do circle back to California or they circle back to the same
LA.
state.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, I'm down for a SummerSlam.
I'm down.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. We
We
can,
got-
we can make a sign.
I know. We just need to. Oh man, can we make a sign like
Yeah.
keep up with the nerds?
Yeah.
Just put a big old QR code. Scan me.
Dude, I think they'll take you. I think they'll take it down.
I
No,
think so.
they don't.
No.
No?
Yeah, if
There's
it's
a couple people.
If it's a promotion like that, yeah.
Oh well,
It has
yeah.
to
If
be-
it's
it has
an
to be
unknown
rele-
promotion, but we
it has
can
to be
make it
relevant.
clever, like not scan me, but be like,
Scan
keeping it
me.
with the nerds, like some,
Yeah, keep it up with nerds at Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll
let's
see.
make it-
We'll
let's
see.
make it
I
happen.
miss going to wrestling events, dude.
Same.
Yeah.
The other one that's really good is Lucha.
That and then I've heard AEW's been pretty good lately.
AEW is pretty good. AEW's
Do you
been.
want to go to which one? Lucha Vavoom?
Let's do WWE first.
It's Lucha wrestling with burlesque dancing.
No, I'm good.
That sounds interesting.
Hey man, that sounds awesome.
All
And
right.
it's a brunch.
God, man, why do
You
you?
always find stuff with like a twist. Like,
What?
it's like, oh yeah, let's go to the strip club. There's a smokehouse there.
Dude, you want to go to a dueling piano bar?
Yeah.
But every time you lose, you got to lose a piece of clothing.
I'm sorry. I know which one. I have fun in LA. Just saddies.
We're not sad. We're just like, it's funny.
I go out and adventure.
How does that adventure go?
Explore.
You get real drunk one night and then just roam the streets of Los Angeles, hopes that you find something?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. There you go. Our big topic for this issue, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
All right.
So, if you have not seen the movie,
Roll initiative.
well, oh my God, why do you have to cuss?
I didn't.
What did you say?
I said fuh.
You're so stupid, dude. Why do you want us to roll?
Because you have to roll initiative to speak.
Oh my God,
dude.
It's not lying.
So,
Would you-
if you have not
would you
seen the
get-
movie,
Would you get roll?
I'm not gonna roll. I'm trying to tell people.
Can you roll the dice, please?
Oh my god, I got a 15.
Cool.
All right.
Then you get to speak. I get to speak. Then he does.
I got a 3.
I got a 5.
Losers. All right, if you have not seen Dungeons and Dragons yet, which has come out in theaters as of last Friday, go ahead and watch it. Then come back to the show. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. There are going to be massive spoilers for this movie coming up because we do have a huge D&D nerd. We can smell his musk. You can actually smell the musk coming through your screen right now or through whatever speakers you're listening to this show on. Yeah, there you go. See, you smell it? Smells like loser.
You wish you could play D&D. You
I don't have
wish.
friends to play D&D with.
And that just made everything sad. They're sad now. They're like, I don't have any friends. Yeah.
I just
You
don't
know
have
what?
the patience. I don't have the patience.
You know
for
what
it.
my
Yeah,
D&D was? It was Elder Scrolls because I didn't have friends to like play an actual campaign. I wasn't, dude.
Quiet
I
Place
literally
RPG
had to play
It is not the same
freaking video
thing.
games because
It's
no
not the
one
same.
would play Dungeons and
Listen,
Dragons.
I
dude.
understand you were lonely. Okay,
I was
get it.
lonely.
I get it. And then Andy came, and then you were less lonely.
You're just a little less lonely. Nah, we're kidding, Andy. We love you. She's like, what does that mean?
Speak now.
Means the demons. What?
Speak. What were we gonna say?
Oh, it's your turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun. They had enough D&D stuff to keep a D&D fan happy. Like you can see things that were going on in the movie where you were like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I know that spell. I know
he
this
wouldn't
thing.
shut up in theater. He was like,
Throughout the whole movie,
Yeah.
dude. I was telling
I was
you.
just calling stuff out. I was just like, oh, cool.
Oh,
that's
that
that.
makes sense.
you would have
Oh,
been
yeah, I
so
know.
pissed sitting next to him. I'm sitting next to him. And I'm like,
Shut
I'm laughing.
up, dude.
No, I'm laughing because I'm thinking, Brian would be so. He'd be like, shut up, dude. He's like,
No, because then he would like I would get there
Yeah.
like 2 minutes before the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Of just like I would be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, what? And then they would then explain it in the movie, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, okay, you knew that before me.
So here was the thing about this movie. The first thing I said, I think we dropped you off first when I said this after, because Nick, Andy, and I were having this conversation, that the movie was not advertised to explain the story the way it was.
No.
Because the way that the advertisements kind of portrayed the story is these guys stole something for the wrong people, and now they have to fix it. That wasn't what this movie was about.
no, yeah, they really kind of like, advertised it in a way different way than what you expected.
I
Yeah.
feel like whoever they had do the advertising, they were like summarize the movie in like 5 lines.
Which is fine.
Because in reality, they're not lying. We
Yeah.
stole something that we shouldn't have, and then the
wrong people got power.
The wrong people got power, and now we need to make it right. Boom! That's all we needed to know. I'm in on the adventure. Let's go for this campaign.
Yeah. And it wasn't a bad story because, like we mentioned this before on previous issues, this movie has a 91% critic score and like a 93,
Now that it's
94.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Now
it's
that
like
it's out.
still in the 90s for critic scores, which is surprising for a movie that is based off a board game, a like kind of like
It's more-
tabletop.
It's a role playing.
It's a role playing game, right? And it's kind of weird. But you and I said this when we were driving home. It's interesting because they didn't really focus so much on the Dungeons and Dragons aspect of it. They really just wanted to take like elements of Dungeons and Dragons and make a good story campaign out of it.
Yeah, it's
90% and 91. Yeah.
Got it certified fresh.
And no, that's a certified. That's a fresh. That thing was picked off the tree
Yeah, the thing is that for this movie,
or the vine. Excuse me.
for this movie, it really is one of those things of they really did go with the critical role method of doing this, of going, we're going to give you a setting, we're going to give you a world, we're going to give you a task they need to complete, and we're going to give you very interesting characters
Mhm.
that are all kind of flushed out, and they're all very fun, and you kind of care about all of their journeys.
Do you guys remember the previous Dungeons and Dragons movie? Before
Oh, you
this?
mean
There
with
was a-
Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah. The one
Yeah, I
with
remember that one.
the one with Marlon Wayans came out in 2000.
There was a Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Is it
Yeah,
actually
2000?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's like a 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
But they did the critical role thing where you're more interested in the characters and their families and what they have to do in this world, and less worried about, this D&D lore, this is that. I mean, there's a lot of lore spills inside of the movie, and it keeps you engaged though.
For you.
Were you engaged during those lore spills?
I lost a lot of attention when they kept referencing names of locations as if like I knew where it was, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about. I told
you
Renee.
wouldn't do well with Game of Thrones.
No, of course I wouldn't. No.
They do that a lot in Game of Thrones.
Of course I would, but I told Renee, I'm like, the only thing I knew was Baldur's Gate, and that's because there's a video game out for it. And then what they were introducing, there was a scene where they tried to save a cat child from a fish's mouth. Yeah. And in my head, I'm just like, oh, Elder Scrolls, that's a Khajiit. Mm-hmm. There's a lizard judge. Oh, that's an Argonian. That's how I like reference any of these things.
Inside of D&D, it's lizard folk, dragonborn, Eric Cochran. There's a bunch
what?
of
Wow.
Eric Cochran.
Why are we saying so many weird things today,
I know,
guys?
jeez, man.
That was the bird person.
Yeah.
That was the whole bird person.
That was Jonathan, dude.
Yeah, that was Jonathan.
I love the beginning part.
Jonathan is an Eric Cochran. Yeah.
But we approved your pardon.
Yeah.
I just really think Jonathan would really understand
Like my
the
backstory
story.
really has a lot to do
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
So if I have to retell this,
Yeah.
like that would just be
Onward.
ashamed.
It's like, okay, so it's like Jonathan. He's like,
It's great. And you know what? Honestly, Chris Pine really does sell being kind of like the leader of this merry band.
yeah.
I really do enjoy it. And we were talking about it in the car on the ride home. Of if they were to make a sequel, they could do it where it's like, oh, these are anthologies. We're just it's in the same world, and we're just gonna follow around. But the more interesting thing is to see where these characters go.
Yeah.
Now they're heroes. Now they're the heroes of Everwinter. Now he's a hero with the Harpers, everything else. So it's kind of like, oh, cool. Like what do they do now?
They'll probably do like the whole classic, like, oh yeah, well, a evil entity awakens from a long time ago and stuff, and now they're like the only ones that can do anything, or people trust them to stop it.
So it's interesting to have this party already established, right? Because Nick was like, going back to what Nick was saying in terms of like how we can make this an anthology. The sequel, of course, you have to have the Hollywood aspect of it, of bringing back every character, so that way audiences can be comfortable going back to a second Dungeons and Dragons movie. You need to have them all back for the audience to have any form of attention. Not only that, but then to spike up the sales or the interest of the first movie, so that when the second movie's coming out, people can rent it or buy it, or it's back in the news, and that it's self-advertisement.
I wouldn't
right?
mind it being like 5 or 6, like 5 to 8 years later, and then his daughter now has her own group, and then now you're seeing the daughter's journey, and
you
her
get a
trying to
new
become a
party.
hero.
And those people, now we follow their adventure. You get a third movie. It's a different faction or a different group going on their adventure. In the fourth one, it's a huge Dungeons and Dragons adventure, but with characters from these other factions and groups. Now they're meeting. It's not all of them coming together, but it's only like maybe pull one from here, pull one from there, so on and so forth.
Because then you can always have like, oh, we're only going to have Chris Pine and what was it? Michelle Rodriguez. They're the two leaders of this
and Olga.
Yeah, Ed and Olga are going to be leading this new group of adventurers, and it's on a training mission or something like that, and it gets far out of hand.
Yeah.
And something else, because that's an interesting plot for a movie as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing where the future of this of this series goes with a 91 and people going to go see it and enjoying it. It's going to get a sequel. It's going to get greenlit.
Is this the only Hasbro's movie that has like been super successful? Because I was thinking about another like
Wouldn't
game.
that also be Transformers?
Yeah, but that's based off like a cartoon.
It's more based off of toys.
A toy line.
Yeah, it's
like Battleship. Battleship was a board game.
I think moving forward, I think when the first Transformers movies came out, they weren't advertised as based off of Hasbro Transformers.
It was a story.
But now moving forward, they are now based off of Hasbro.
Because they're going like looking just like the original.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, you want to get these toys?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they make those toy lines.
And they're making them like the specific colors that they were when they first came out, and they're making them like directed more towards them. But I do think that for Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of characters that you can do, and there's a lot of places that all these characters can go. Like the fact that they went to the Everdark is pretty insane. Like that's nobody goes there. It's like going to hell.
Yeah. What I will say is I really like how this movie took the approach of making it comfortable for normal people that don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
They're going into this movie going in like, oh, well, I don't know anything about this role-playing game.
Yeah.
But you still get a pretty good story with a great ending with, you know, a lovable cast. And if you know something about Dungeons and Dragons, you can still catch on to certain elements of it. Like, I've never played a full campaign of D&D. You know, I've never been a dungeon master. Andy has never participated in anything D&D, but she knows the rule sets and how to like play it a little bit here and there. So there was a scene towards the end of the movie where Olga picks up a potato and throws it at what's his name again? The con man, the Forge. Throws it at the Forge, and she leans over and she's like, was that a 20? And I'm like, yeah, that was a crit 20.
So
she got that reference.
And I thought it was funny because they did have perfect examples of what like a nat 20 would be, like the nat 20 with the potato.
Yeah.
Or a natural, like just a nat 1 of when he's performing, and then his illusion just immediately starts imploding on itself, and he starts
Simon's
looking all
foot
weird.
gets stuck in like a hole.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's when you roll a 1.
That's when you roll a 1 to pull your foot out, and then it's just like, oh no, just everything's going bad. Or you roll a 1 on your performance, and the performance just goes to hell, and it's like not great. So I've been in those situations of playing D&D, of having those situations of going like, this is gonna look so awesome, and then you roll and you get like a nat 1, and they're like, this is not gonna be fun, but
even there's even like small references to like how you would play Dungeons and Dragons when they go in to find the helmet of disjunction.
Yeah,
I think is what it's called. And you know the Thane, who's a paladin, who's a part of the Hatchers.
Yeah, he's part of the Hatchers.
Yeah, he's part of the Hatchers Guild, the one that basically introduced Ed into and says like, oh, you have to uphold whatever your word and stuff.
He's going back towards the Harpers.
Yeah. Oh, Harpers, not Hatchers, the Harpers.
He's not part of the Harpers guild or anything like that, but he knows of them.
He knows of them. Yeah. And so he starts explaining the rules on how to cross this bridge. And it's literally like a 30-second dialogue of saying like, oh, you have to make sure that once you step on a tile, that's only the odd number of tiles, and you have to step right, then left, then forward, then all this other stuff. And when you get halfway towards the bridge, you now have to start stepping on the even numbers, but you have to do these sorts of things.
It sounded like a DM trying to explain.
Yeah. And then Simon just goes like, I'm just going to walk forward. Walks forward, entire bridge collapses. But it's like, well, then you messed up the progression.
Yeah.
And you said it best. It's like, okay, when someone messes up the progression and the DM still needs these characters to progress, you then just throw them an item and say, like, this is how you could progress forward, which ended up happening when Olga finds out, oh, there's this walking stick that he took from this house.
Yeah. And
that
it's always
and
it's always an optional.
Yeah.
Like whenever they do that, it's always like an optional item, or it's always like this like artifact that you find and you don't really know what it is, and then you have to find somebody that knows what it is.
Yeah. So it plays itself well to people who don't know anything about D&D, who might know some stuff about D&D, and for people that really are into D&D, which Renee has explicitly said that you just wouldn't shut up about.
Yes.
It's not that I wouldn't shut up about it. It was that I just enjoy, because I've been in those moments of.
Did you smell his swamp ass afterwards?
No, that was someone else.
That was somebody behind us. No, I just thought because as somebody who's played D&D for years now, is that I remember those moments when I first got those items, when I first got introduced to those areas.
He reminisced,
and it was a nice little like reminiscence of like, oh, that's really cool, like that's really awesome. So I thought that's why I was really enjoying it, and I was having a lot of fun with it, because I was like, oh, cool, like the Everdark. Oh, okay, cool. The Harpers, I've heard of them. I've never really met them inside of a D&D session. What was it? So I mean, there's different places that you can really go.
And the world's massive enough that you can make a sequel.
Yeah, the world's massive enough where you could definitely never see these people again.
Yeah. I will say that I appreciated how silly this movie was, because it wasn't like, and if people are going to say like, oh, it's basically like Lord of the Rings, it's not, because Lord of the Rings tends to be a more serious, developed like world of magic and elves and all this other stuff. Like it's a more serious tone. And I feel like D&D really took upon itself to just make it quirky and weird, because that's the whole point of kind of developing a campaign. Like you got to make it uniquely yours, right? Like it's, where have you ever seen a pudgy dragon?
True. Not only that, but also it goes with the chemistry of the characters, because I've been in sessions where nobody likes anybody.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, I've been in a session where everybody made a character that conflicts with somebody else.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm a paladin, so I don't like thievery because I'm a justice paladin. I'm a rogue that likes to steal from people. Well, I don't like rogues because I'm a paladin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Or I'm part of this faction. Well, I made a character that doesn't like this faction. And it's so I've
Why are you
been
pointing at me?
but I've been in a session where just like everybody didn't click, and it was terrible. Like, and it kind of works out the way that, you know, an actual team who's meant to work together would work out, where just everybody starts dying. Like everybody, like, I'm not gonna save him. I really don't care about him. Like, okay, whatever. I don't really care about this person. I don't care about that person. Whereas when you have a team that's functioning and everybody cares about each other and everybody cares about each other's goals, that's when the emotion really starts coming in.
Yeah.
And that's when you start really caring about each other's story and you care about going towards their goals.
Yeah.
So, like right now, I think we're in the D&D session that we're playing right now. Our buddy Andrew, his big thing is just to spread the word of Apollo. Because, and so his big thing is we go to every town and we always have to raise money and then start an orphanage. Start orphanages. Like,
no, not create orphans.
Start
orphanages. I was
like there's orphans already
what,
there.
are you killing parents or what?
Like, I mean, I've done that too.
There's all these kids here. Let's start building.
In all fairness, I have done an evil campaign.
How do you start an orphanage? Just start killing parents.
Kill a bunch of parents.
I have done a D&D campaign where one of the characters, his goal was to create the greatest hero. So he was just going around murking parents.
Oh my God.
And then he would make sure that the kids could see. So that way he can make them have an evil backstory.
What?
So that way he can have a villain. Huh?
They go, remember this.
Yeah. Basically, where he's just like, what's the most messed up way I could kill their parents? So that way they can remember this. And then like he just goes like, yeah, now I just have to wait like 10 to 15 years. And I have my great rival.
That reminds me of, which I love, is a Community, where they do Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Which you can't see that episode anymore.
You can't. But
Why
it's so
can't you see that again?
because of the blackface.
Yeah,
he's a dark elf.
He's a dark elf, but people are
So dumb. He's a dark
no.
elf.
But
It's a funny joke.
it's a funny joke. That's the thing, and it's so funny because I remember when Chevy Chase's character Pierce plays that game. He
becomes a bad guy.
He becomes the bad guy, and he's all like, "I rape the Duquet family."
What?
Yeah, that's what he does. And then like he grabs one of the player's swords and he steals it from him and runs away. And he's all like, "Pierce, like, give the sword back. I can't hear you with the sound of my balls hitting the sword." He's all like, and he rolls. He goes, and then Abe goes, "You have." He goes, "You have successfully rubbed the balls on the sword." So like, any decision they do, he has to roll the dice and stuff.
Oh my god!
It's so funny.
But there's so much drama that comes with Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
especially when you have like these amazing DMs that you've seen online, and they have like these different ideas. Like TikTok is full of like DMs that have like great ideas. Like
that's the whole part of having a really good campaign, is that you have to have a really good DM.
Yeah.
Dungeons Master. You have to have a person that's really, really into creating worlds, creating a story, and really looking for all the best characters' interests and stuff. What's going to benefit them.
Not only that, but also any good DM is somebody who can think on the fly. Yeah. Because it's happened so many times where I know our DM, he'll plan an entire encounter. He'll do this. Oh, then they're gonna run into this, and then they're gonna do this, and then we outthink him. Yeah. And we skip the entire encounter, and we're able to just like skip over here, and he's just like,
I worked on this part.
I made this thing where they have to go through a maze, and then a dragon pops out, a skeleton with like a mage pops out right here, and it's all over here. Okay, we're gonna go this way. Damn it!
that happens every session.
Yeah.
Or the most annoying thing I know most DMs would probably go is, "What's his name?" And then, or like they go into a shop and they're just like, "What's the shopkeeper's name?" It's like, it's Warwick. Yeah. Oh, what's his family's name? Where's he from?
Yeah. And what was the story?
Yeah, like
of
what's
the
like
barkeeper that was talking to you? Did you notice the sign of the the picture of the farm? Did you see?
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
Oh man, you guys are dead.
Like I have played a session where I was a bard who was at arson,
Yeah.
and I just liked setting buildings on fire for
Oh, yeah?
like no reason.
Oh, sorry, go on.
So I would like try to make it look like an accident, and then it was really funny though because later on he was like, "Yeah, you're being accused of setting all of these fires," and I was like, "How could they have known? Like they all were supposed to look like accidents." And he goes, "You nailed all the doors shut. That doesn't look like an accident. When you nail the doors to a bar shut, and then you put everyone to sleep. That's not an accident."
You know you can play a micro D&D campaign with ChatGPT.
Can you really?
Yeah, you can.
I know you can.
That's
I know you
fun.
can ask ChatGTP to write you a campaign.
GPD. GPT.
GPT.
HBK.
HBO.
Yeah. I know you can have the AI do.
Oh, you can
a
do like
campaign.
text adventures, but I think you can do like a micro like D&D campaign with.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like it'll roll dice and everything for you. I tried it a little bit, and then it goes like, after like 2 minutes, it goes like, "Do you want to still continue this conversation?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm invested,"
You're invested in a robot.
because I don't have friends.
It's got so sad. I can do it because I've done it before with Lewis. We did the Rick and Morty one.
Okay.
Oh,
It's a Rick and Morty dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Where you play as Rick, Morty, Beth, and everybody else.
Don't
It's
do
a
that.
screw off.
It's not a screw off.
I was gonna laugh so hard if it just like.
I got a bottle. No, I'll get it.
No, I
No,
got
that's
it in my
fine.
keys. Anyways, go on.
So anyway, the Rick and Morty one is pretty fun because it's Rick setting traps for just like the family and everything else, and they're all playing like different characters and everything. That one's a lot of fun. Like that one is super fun, and like it's an actual like dungeon crawl, and it's just like super. It's super annoying too because it has Rick's just anarchy written into it, where it's just like. There's a door in front of you. How do you open the door? And then I was sitting like everybody, and then you see like an entire like party just start freaking out, going like, all right, so how do we open the door? And like Lewis and them, I think spent like 15, 20 minutes trying to figure out how do we open the door. And then finally like Andrew just goes, and he turns the knob and the door opens. And then he's like, and in the thing, it's like, congratulations, you've opened the door.
You know what? I will say that there are certain DMs that tend to be kind of asshole-ish in the sense that, like, you know, anything that you do will cause instant death. It's like you can't even progress the story that way.
Instant death is boring.
Yeah,
That
it's
is-
so dumb because it's like, oh, you approach a door that has like a metal knob. Do you choose to open it or inspect it? And you have to inspect like every little detail because
Yeah, those
who
are
knows?
fun.
There's like a tripwire behind the door, or the knob has like a magic spell that causes you to like die or get poisoned or something like that.
I know that there are some curses like on items and stuff like that that can happen where, you know, oh, I touch this thing and then it automatically does like instant word kill, where it's just you die, you just instantly die.
Yeah.
There's some of those, but I mean those you have to put them sparingly throughout the campaign, because if your characters feel like, well, I'm just rolling through character sheets at this point, because at a certain point I don't care about this character.
Yeah.
Like if he dies, he dies. It doesn't matter. Like every Halloween, our DM always has this thing where he does what's called the Mansion, and it's a Resident Evil style Halloween campaign, and he uses the actual maps from Resident Evil 1 for the mansion, and he uses those to make a campaign out of it. And it's supposed to be like this horror campaign. He does it, and he specifically says, make 5 characters. Because that's when he gets brutal, and he's just like, I'm going to murder all your characters. Like, my goal is to murder all 5.
Yeah.
And, but the idea is that the reason why he does it is so that way when later on, when we're playing a different campaign, you can use it as like your play test of, I've talked about this character, I've read about this character, I kind of want to play it, and I want to like, you know, just see how they play and everything else, because maybe you didn't like it, or maybe you do like it and you're like, oh, I want to use this character for something else. So that's why he does that. But just murdering people is fun.
And it's interesting because this movie kind of follows that trend of trying to keep these characters alive and not like obviously like murking them every chance they get, you know, because like you had, I'm trying to remember every single character's name. It's Simon, Olga, Ed, and I can't remember the druids. It was something like
is it Sophia?
No, Sophia was the Red Witch. It was something very
druidisk.
No, it was something like, it sounded wrong when I heard it. Can you look it up real quick, please?
I think you already have the cast out.
But point being, this adventure didn't feel like everyone was gonna die. Like there were moments where you thought a certain party member was gonna die, like especially when they were facing the Pudgy dragon, and it started to roll down the hill as they were trying to run away through the bridge.
Oh, his name was like Zenik.
No, not Zenik. That was
Zenik.
Zenik was the other one.
Was the paladin?
He's talking about the druid.
Who's that?
Her name was Sophia something.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one with the horns. Anyway.
Do you have the name?
Doric.
There you go.
Doric, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a druid. Dude.
Yeah.
Sounds
But
like a
you know,
druid
like
thing.
you would have those moments in this movie where like you do feel like these people were gonna die as the Pudgy dragon starts to roll down the hill,
That's funny.
and it's like, oh well, you know, are they gonna get crushed? Are they gonna make it? And or even when they were cornered in that cavern, right? Like water starts spilling through everything, and then you had that quick moment of like, oh, he's breathing enough gas to be able to light up the entire cliff with, you know, with a fire to be able to get out of
the
there.
explosion. Yeah.
Yeah. So those moments were super creative of like, yeah, this actually does feel like a D&D campaign.
And it also
stakes.
and it really does sound like players talking
Yeah.
out a problem of going like, okay, what can we do? How can we solve this problem? And how do we get out of this situation? Because in a D&D campaign, you should feel like it's a possibility for you to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like now, even like our characters have gotten high level, and our DM is going like, well, I now have to make things that can kill you. Because you're too high level where all the base monsters, you'll run through them. So now if I do a bunch of base monsters, I have to do a horde of them because you can just one-shot a lot of them. So I have to just swarm you, or I have to make things that do like 45 damage in like one hit and something else. So that is interesting because you do need to keep that tension inside of the game to think, oh yeah, like you might not make out of this.
Yeah. And they kind of did that towards the end of the movie. After, spoiler, Olga basically dies because she gets stabbed by a red wizard's blade,
Yes.
which is something that no wizard can basically cure, and she ends up dying. They bring her back using the tablet of revival,
Tablet of Revival.
which can only be used once, which was intended to bring back Ed's wife, which was the whole purpose of this movie, was basically to find the tablet to rescue his daughter, which the Forge basically took over, or, you know, robbed.
I thought it was
Or
funny
stole.
though because as soon as as soon as they had the dragonfly scene with him and his wife, and they're hiding from the dragonfly, and she's trying to let it go, and then as soon as she goes like with all things, you just have to know when to let it go.
Yeah.
And then it cuts, and then I was like, oh man, they're not bringing her back. Like just the way that's written, I was like, oh man, they're not bringing her back.
No, it was
The
kind
end
of predictable.
The end of the movie is going to be he has to let her go. That makes sense.
Or I thought it was gonna be like his daughter would die too. I thought that was gonna be like a thing.
I figured it was going to have to be either Olga or it was going to have to be his daughter, where he's going to have to choose.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool. I thought that Hugh Grant played a great villain. I loved him as a
Oh, he was great. Believable too. He was a con man.
Where he's just a great con man. He was awesome.
It was interesting too. I will say that I do applaud the way that they cleared out the stadium by basically like having the riches spill onto the city.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
he
yeah.
was keeping his promise to the
To the paladin.
what was it? I can't remember. The Harpers. He's keeping the promise, his oath, to basically not keep any of the money himself, but also to distribute that wealth amongst the people. And he did so, and that's how he cleared out the stadium so that the Red Wizard wouldn't convert them all to the undead.
Yeah.
Basically an undead army. It was a clever thing.
Yeah.
I will say that final thoughts, because we do have to wrap up this issue pretty soon.
They did have a Hulk moment, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that was just an overkill moment.
Yeah.
That was
That was an overkill moment.
The Owl Bear Hulk moment. I was like, that's amazing.
That's
I
a
love it.
that's a crit 20, dude. That's a crit 20 roll. Like, you already beat the person and you're just rolling to basically see if you can just murk the person more. Final thoughts. I will just say that I do feel like this movie is a good representation of, like, it's not about the end that matters, it's the journey of how you got to that ending that really sells. Because the journey is what makes this entire movie worth it. We already knew that the wife wasn't going to come back. We already knew that he was going to be getting his daughter back. We already knew that the promises were going to be kept. But the journey to get to that point was just so well received and so digestible to just everyone that it's just a great movie overall to watch. And hopefully this movie does succeed in the box office. I think it earned 5.56 million already on Thursday.
That's great.
As of Thursday. So only, we'd have to wait till the weekend's over to see how well it does.
What was his budget? What's the budget?
No.
You gotta
sat-
roll.
you
You have
sat next
to
to the
roll
computer.
and see what. Hang on, roll. See what does your
9.
9?
I didn't roll it.
But I have a 10.
No, you're convincing him with a 9.
Oh no,
Your
but
charisma is
I
already.
no, but I have a 10 modifier, so it's fine. So it's 19.
Let's see.
If you,
It made 5.6 million so far at the box office since Thursday.
I think you can look on Wikipedia. It'll tell you. Wikipedia, great source. Scroll down.
Should say what its budget was.
Budget is on the right of that box to the right.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, budget. Ooh, 150 million.
Oof.
And it's already just made 5.6. So
Ouch. So it's got to make double that to be successful.
it's going to be in theaters for a bit. So
But does it stay? Is this another Speed Racer?
I don't know because here was my thing. I think that opening weekend was going to be weird for this movie, just because I don't know if everybody was going to think it was going to be a good movie.
well, not everyone's going to come out of their mom's basement yet. So they still have to roll to get out.
Do I get out of bed today? 13. All right. It looks like you know what? I don't shower, but
I just like both of you.
It reminds me of the Benchwarmers with the brother that's scared of the sun.
Oh yeah.
do I get out and shower today?
No, I was telling him that
15.
It's
All right.
because I haven't done it in years.
Shower?
But no, but the thing of playing D&D for an entire day.
Rolling the dice.
Where
Stop. We're not.
where we wake up at 9 a.m. we go over somebody's house, we just start playing D&D.
You rolled
And
a
then
1, didn't you?
And
I
then
rolled
you
a
play,
5.
Oh, okay.
You play part of a campaign all the way until like 1 o'clock. Then you take like an hour or 2 lunch, and then you come back and you play a different campaign. And somebody
The
else
likelihood of us doing this. Let's see. 14.
No, it's a no for me for sure. I don't need to roll. I don't need to flip a coin. It's a roll because you know what? I don't like.
You
playing.
roll. See what you get. You got.
I don't like playing with people. I like playing with myself. You know, I like just playing by myself because there's nothing worse than someone interrupting you while you're playing with yourself. You know.
You don't like teamwork.
No,
You don't like to play with.
I don't
others?
like dealing with other people. All right.
All right. Final thoughts, Renee. What do you think about this movie?
I liked it. It was fun.
All right,
Yeah.
Nick.
I thought it was fun. It was a
All
good
right.
movie.
Cool.
I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow.
That's great.
You can take Monica to see it.
Hmm?
You can take Monica to see it.
Yeah, Monica, me, Monica, Andrew, his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
our buddy Sam and his girlfriend are all going.
I think Andrew's gonna like this.
Oh
movie.
yeah, of course Andrew's gonna like this
Yeah,
movie.
I
You're
think
like,
Andrew's gonna
I
like
wouldn't have done this way.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
it's really funny though because when she goes like, because she went over to the paladin, she was like, "You're just not fun. You're not a fun person."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Yeah, most paladins are."
Yeah.
Because most paladins are very rigid and they're always like very steadfast in like their
Yeah.
beliefs. So you're always like, "Hey, come on, paladin, let's have a little fun," and they're just like, "No."
Like-
My God wouldn't approve. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh God.
Dude, I'm trying to roll a 20 and I can't. I've been rolling 13s, 14s. I've rolled 3 13s in a row and I rolled a 1. We're gonna end it at that. He rolled 20 immediately.
No, I got a
Damn.
15.
I got a 20.
You twisted it.
Yeah, you
No,
liar.
I didn't.
What a liar, dude.
I rolled it right now.
All right, let me see the likelihood of me believing you. 16. I don't believe you.
That's a high. That means you believe me.
No, I don't believe you.
16 means
No,
you
no,
believe me.
not for my character sheet. That's not how that works.
I rolled it. I felt you did that.
That's not what I did.
All right, we're going to wrap up this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds. Thank you so much for joining us here on this issue 142. Don't forget to check out our website at keepingupwiththenerds.com. Follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to check out our podcast on audio platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast. And check us out on YouTube. If you've not yet subscribed, leave a comment down below. Were you excited for Wrestlemania? Did you like it at all? Did you watch Dungeons and Dragons? And what'd you think of the movie? Who was your favorite character? What would you have done differently in this campaign? And if you have any comments or concerns regarding any of the topics on Comic Strips, let us know as well. Don't forget to like this show and share it with anyone that would be interested because we're aiming for 200 now. 200 subs.
Also, what do you think Ed's class was?
It's a bard.
Is it? You never cast any spells.
His spell was the lute.
That's not a bard. It just means I can play a lute. What's his
Are you
class?
okay? What's wrong? Nick, are you ready to sign us out?
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 142. My name is Nick Valero.
Renee.
This is Brian.
Signing off from Understated Comics. We'll see you all next time.
Can you remember the issue number? Stop!